All right, let's go. Usually, I start these interviews off by saying we have a special guest. But today, we not only have a special guest because she's vegan, but she's also Haitian. And y'all know I go hard for my people. So let's start this off by saying, Sak Passe, what's going on, Potent?
What's good?
Hey, thank you so much for being here today. You know, I appreciate, your availability. I appreciate you being here. And it's so funny because you and I, we met at a vegan restaurant.
Yes.
So it's only fitting that we do this. You and I met at Greedy Vegan.
For sure.
Shout out Letitia. And vegan food connects everyone. And while we're on that topic of vegan food and connecting, how long have you been vegan?
All right. I've been vegan since 2020.
2020?
Yes.
So you've been vegan for a couple years now. How you like it so far?
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay. What made you become vegan?
Well, what made me become vegan, I was very sick from 2018 to 2019. Very sick. I was in the hospital for that whole year, pretty much. Random sharp shooting pain in my chest. I don't know what a heart attack feels like, but it felt like a heart attack. Doctors didn't have any answers for me. Wow. It was debilitating to the point where I had to quit 2 jobs. They had no answers for me. When I'm talking about every test that they ran came back negative. And I'm like, all right, that's a good thing. But it's also like, am I dying of something that's undiagnosed or never been seen before? So it was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. Didn't have any answers. And then they tried to medicate me. Like, what are you medicating me for? Trying to medicate me for if you don't have any answers for me. Okay. Right? So they said, oh, we think it's this. We think it's that. And I'm like, I'm not taking your medication if you don't have any answers for me.
And was this your first time ever feeling, these sharp pains?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, absolutely. Like, it was so scary to the point that there was nights I didn't want to go to sleep because I thought I was not going to wake up. Like, it was really bad. It was random, happened at random times, and I just couldn't take it.
And what was the crossover for you when you said, you know what, if the doctors don't know what this pain is or what I'm suffering from, let me try just maybe switching and changing up my diet?
Well, shout out to my community, because I really had to turn to my community. I'm very vocal and transparent about a lot of things in my life, and I had to turn to my community. So me working out at Wingate Park, there's a lot of athletes that are there that are on a healthy diet, right? So I just started asking them questions, and the first thing they started asking me is, what's your diet like? What are you eating? And from there, that's when I started getting all the information that I needed from them, and that made me change up my diet for sure.
Okay, so Potent pulls up.
Yeah.
She's talking to the athlete at Wingate Park, and they're like, yo, what's your diet like? What did you tell them?
Yes. All right, so being Haitian, and of course, we didn't have, not of course, but in my household, we didn't have much money, right? So I really didn't grow up on the red meats and stuff. I really literally grew up on fish, eggs, chicken, and turkey. That was really it. And if we had ground meat, that was like for maybe some meatballs here and there, but that was really all we had. But of course, there's dairy, right? There's dairy, there's byproducts. So all of that type of stuff, obviously my body was changing. My body was in a state of change. And I had to eliminate those things. So
let's go back. You being Haitian and, certain foods that we eat in our culture, right?
Yes, yeah.
And now you've removed a lot of those foods. Do you feel as if you are any less involved in the culture food-wise than you were before?
No.
Okay.
I would say no, because again, in my household, we just really had the staples. I literally had a healthy diet, but obviously it wasn't healthy enough for me that it made me sick later down the line. But the healthy stuff that I have being Haitian, like the legumes, the sauce pois, the beans and all that stuff, like legit, that's what I really eat now. Yeah. So I really had to eliminate the Americanized diet. I had to get away from the eggs. I had to get away from the chicken, the fish. I had to get away from those things. But the staples, I was never somebody, y'all probably gonna revoke my card. I was never somebody that liked the griot like that. What else? Everything.
And for those that don't know what griot is, it's fried pork.
Yeah, so I was never into that regardless.
Okay.
So I just stuck to the basics, and it doesn't take away from my culture because I know what I felt like going through that. So I don't want to feel like that. You know, I know there's a lot of people that no matter how sick they are, they still continue with the unhealthy ways. And I am not one of those people.
Just because it's, at this point, it's ignorant, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, when somebody says, I can't give up cheese, but haven't even tried to give up cheese, you know, it's no different than a drug addict being out there and say, yo, I can't give up crack.
Listen, it's crazy. It's like, do you want to feel better or do you not want to feel better? Like, I could
feel
not
better, look better.
For real, I couldn't work. It was just terrible. But nah.
Let's get to know you a little bit better. You said, you know, growing up in a Haitian household, where did you grow up?
So pretty much between Queens and Brooklyn, but definitely Brooklyn heavy for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you eat out a lot growing up, or were you kind of like the typical Haitian that didn't really believe in eating out and ate inside before they went out?
Listen, no. My mom to this day, she cooks her meals every single day. You know, and it's so crazy because my mom, since I was young, she was always sick. Oh, till this day, she takes a lot of medication and stuff. So it got to the point where you have to check your ingredients. So that's where we're really at with it. So she doesn't eat unhealthy. She doesn't eat out. So it's like, what is she eating,
the
right?
MSG, the sodium, the sazon, adobo.
Talk to him. And this is what I'm saying. And that's the issue. Like, imagine you seeing your mom's, my whole life, I've never seen her not on medication, never seen her not complaining about not feeling good or whatever. Like, that's just really it. So imagine that. You're cooking your own food, but you're still very sick. Where do you start to ask the questions of why and what's really going on? And what do I need to eliminate from my system, from my diet?
It's so crazy because I have family members, even my grandmother, you know, my grandmother, she would eat so much, you know, griot and fried foods and, you know, the Haitian staples. And, you know, she suffered from inflammation, right? Her foot, she had what they call elephantitis. Her foot was like the size of my thigh. And the swelling would never go down. They tried draining her foot several times. And honestly, you know, people don't realize that the foods the animal-based foods that we are putting into our bodies, whatever diseases they carry, we are now carrying and hosting those same diseases. And it's like, when we talk to people about this, they don't want to hear it.
I know. That just gave me goosebumps. And for real, we take on how horrible they were treated. We take on the environment that they were in. We take on the blood, their blood becomes our blood and our DNA. All the trauma that they've been through, we take all of that stuff on. So it's sad. It's sad, but all we could do is sit here and continue to educate and talk about it and share our own experiences, because if you're not exposed to it, you're not going to know, right? If everybody keeps their story in a hush, you're never going to know anything. But also, again, it's like, if they know it, they still not going to do it, because it's tough. So a lot of times what I say, a lot of these things is not hereditary.
Talk to them.
I can say 100% is not hereditary. The diet and the lifestyle is what's hereditary. You're picking up the same habits from generations and generations and generations, and you're including that into your lifestyle.
Oh man, it's interesting, right? We're in 2023, and for the most part, especially as Black folks, we like to think that we are no longer oppressed, right? But the way that we eat kind of allows us to still feel that emotional connection to being oppressed. Because if we're eating foods, and this is not to say anything about what people eat, but if
Right.
we're eating the same food that they would give us as the scraps and leftovers, like the pig intestines and all of this, we're carrying on the same slave tradition without even realizing it, and we're passing it on. And when our children see, hey, these are the foods that mommy and daddy are grilling and are boasting about, I got to carry that same tradition on, but not realizing that I'm cutting my lifespan, I don't want to say in half, but it's difficult. I have an uncle right now who recently had a stroke.
Oh, man.
And once the doctors, did all the testing and everything, the first thing they said was, we can tell it was his lifestyle, right?
Right.
Smoking the cigarettes, eating, hearty meats, heavy meats and stuff like that. At some point, these foods are going to be clogging your arteries and are going to do damage.
No, that's true. It's true. It's a lot of people who just say that they prefer to be happy than unhappy. But I tell people, and that's what I had to do in my lifestyle as well, you don't have to be unhappy on your journey. There doesn't have to be restrictions where you're depressed about the decision that you made. That's where you go cold turkey. That's where it's like, you make these unrealistic changes. It doesn't have to be unrealistic. Everything could be in moderation. Everything could be little by little. Everything could be learning yourself and learning your body. Trust me, there's a lot of vegans that are not healthy.
Talk to them.
There's a lot of vegans that are not healthy.
So, a lot of time when you hear somebody is vegan, we automatically attach the healthy component to it, right?
Right.
So just being vegan does not equal that, somebody is healthy.
Absolutely.
Because you could be eating junk food vegan.
Yes. Carbs.
Let's get into it.
People that eat the heavy carbs, that's not healthy. Again, the ingredients. What's in that process? Oh, every frozen box says vegan. Did you read the ingredients? Did you read what are you really consuming?
For real.
No.
Because, and it's crazy because although the box itself may say vegan, you may see something in there and be like, wait, this ain't even vegan at all.
Exactly.
So paying attention to what's on the box is actually extremely important. For you on your vegan journey, you're not just eating vegan food. That's not who Potent is, right? So let's get into it. I see that, you also are the business owner of vegan products.
Yes.
So it seems like when you went vegan, it was more than just food. It was,
For sure.
I need to be cautious of the ingredients I'm not only, chewing on and eating, but the stuff that I'm putting on my skin.
Yes.
Can you tell me a lot more about that?
All right. So, yes, definitely. So, again, when I was sick, I had to do so much research. And again, bringing in the information that the guys was telling me about, right? So, a lot of our byproducts, a lot of the products that we put on our skin that doesn't do anything for our skin actually have animal products in it. And then we wonder, why am I still not moisturized? Why are my lips still chapped? Why am I still breaking out? Why do I have acne, why like dandruff, all of this type of stuff, right? So I had to learn that. At one point my hair was blonde, so I had to do the process of elimination. I definitely did remove the color from my hair because comes to find out, not only is it, of course, there's animal products in it, but it's also cancerous as well. A lot of women that suffer from like fibroids, a lot of women that suffer from cysts, breast cancer, all of these things lead, what you put on your skin is the largest organ of your body, right? So what you put on your skin goes directly into your bloodstream. Now we're applying these products for the life of us.
The makeup, the Burt's Beeswax,
yes.
All of these different things. And, sometimes we are so shocked when we hear, this person may have cancer or these things that develop. But if we think about it, if we've been putting these byproducts, the Johnson & Johnson products on our skin for 30 years or even less, they accumulate over time.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's not that you just have a regular cold. You might be sick because of actually what you are putting onto your skin.
Yes.
So we're talking about, somebody who may not even realize that their lips are still chapped, although they're putting Carmex and Blistex over and over and over again on their lips. I believe I saw somewhere that you have your own lip balm.
Yes, I did create my own vegan lip balm. Okay. Yes, I did.
And how did that happen?
That happened, crazy story, years ago. I don't even have a picture of it, but years ago, I had the biggest lump on my lip. Like, doctors are like, we've never seen this before. And I told them, just, what was I using back then? Like Blistex, whatever. Mm-hmm. But even then, when I was using those things, I would always have these little small micro bumps on my lips, and I never understood why. But I would still use it. Like the Vaseline never felt good to me on my lips regardless. It was just always so weird. But I would always break out in these little bumps. And then one time it got humongous. I don't even have a picture, but now, like 10 years later, I wish I did have a picture to show the difference. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, that was my pain point. And then just, I wanted to create something that I didn't see the vegan community have, to be honest. And then self-care, I'm very big on self-care. People don't think about their lips, and I said, okay, you know what? I can create the body butters, the soaps and everything, but how about the lip balm, the vegan lip balm? Because I was so tired of my lips being irritated, I had to find an answer. And then when I looked up the ingredients, of like the Blistex and everything, and I was like, wow, so this is what I was actually having an allergic reaction and didn't even know it this whole time.
Didn't even know it.
This whole time.
And when you have an allergic reaction, it seems like when you go to a doctor or a specialist, they're not even able to pinpoint these things. So you're sitting there trying to figure out, wow, is there something wrong with me? Wow.
And they think that you're crazy. They think that you're absolutely nuts and insane. So again, just taking matters into my own hands. And then the one thing that I know everybody loves, they love the menthol, they love the peppermint feel. So I made sure I included that. So that does, again, this is not a restriction. This is just an alternative for you, right? Because if you love the menthol, you love the Blistex type of feel, that's fine. Now you have it in the vegan option. So it doesn't take away from that experience that you love to have. And then also peppermint is very soothing, very calming, very relaxing. Yes. I have people that buy it just because, like, when they're nervous and they have like the anxiety is up, they'll put it on rather than chew like a mint or something. Wow. So it has its multi-purposes.
Do you remember any of the ingredients? You know, like when we look at the ingredients of, you know, Blistex and Carmex, we'll see a bunch of things, you know, on the back. Can you tell us some of the ingredients that are included into your lip balm so people understand the natural components behind it?
Well, the common ingredients that I have seen in the non-vegan lip balms is the shea butter, the cocoa butter, the vitamin E. What else? Yeah.
Okay. And those are very, you know, essential, whether you're making, you know, the body butter, you know, the body creams or the lip balm. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, it's just a minor change, you know, it's just the same thing with your lifestyle. It's just literally a minor change. It doesn't have to be full throttle. Just find that one tweak that could really make a big change. Yeah.
Earlier, we were talking about how when you're eating some of these, you know, animal-based foods, how we are digesting their blood type, what they have.
Yes. Yes.
Let's talk about how people maybe aren't paying attention to what their blood types are and eating according to their blood type. Do you know what your blood type is?
Yes, my blood type is B positive.
B positive.
Literally. Yes, B plus. And I've known that because I've donated blood like all my life. That's just something that I just love to do, of course, just giving back. And I have sickle cell trait, right? So that's something that's common in African Americans. Okay. A lot of times people don't know that they have it. Then they go mate with another, somebody else that has sickle cell trait. And now you have a child that has sickle cell, and that's very hard. You know, I know a lot of people do live very long, but it's very tough. Yeah. It's very, very tough.
I don't know too much about sickle cell, but I do remember Prodigy from Mobb Deep.
Yep.
He used to always talk about the pain that he
Yes.
endured. And I remember an interview he did, and he spoke on probably one of the few things that alleviated the sickle cell pain was a plant-based diet.
Absolutely. No, it's true. I have people that share the same situation, and they ask me like, yo, how do you do it? How do you work out so much? Yes, my body hurts. When I say my body hurts, my body does hurt. But again, you can't have that issue and continue to live like you're completely healthy. Like, you can't live that lifestyle of, I'm not judging anybody, but being on the heavy drugs and doing this and doing that. Like, you can't live that lifestyle and then still have, you're just literally adding to the fire.
Yeah.
Right. So
my dad asked me a question. You know, we were talking about smoking, and we were talking about, you know, smoking weed specifically. And he was like, you know, I don't really get why people do it so often.
Right.
And I was telling him the reasons, you know, it calms you down and this and that. He says, okay, I get it. Then he asked me a question. And the question my father asked me is, would I run into a burning building which had nobody? I don't need to save anyone. Would I just run into a burning building with all the smoke and just hang out there? And I was like, no. So he said, so then why would you smoke all the time?
Right.
And I was like, all right.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, man. It's one of those things.
Now, you mentioned you work out often, and I see that you work out often. You know, off camera, you and I were talking about, you know, we share, well, I used to go to a gym that you may go to now, but what is it like working out while vegan? And the reason why I ask you that question is because a lot of people think that they may have less energy while working out on being vegan, or it might be a little bit more difficult to build muscle while on a vegan or plant-based diet. Have you had any struggles while working out while vegan?
No, to be honest, the only struggle that I had was if I didn't follow that diet. Like, the one thing that my coach had to tell me before I started this, because also he's 8 years vegan as well, and he's a calisthenics coach for over 20 years, so you can't even tell, right? Mm-hmm. But the one thing he told me before we started training was, what do the largest animals, strongest animals on this planet eat?
Hold on, time out. I'm happy somebody else besides me asked this question. Let's rewind.
Yeah, come on, run it back.
Can you please ask that question again?
What do the strongest, largest animals on the planet eat? What? Think about a zebra, elephant. What do you see these people? What do they eat?
What do bulls eat?
Yes.
What do these animals eat?
And
when you think about it, they eat the plants. They eat the grass that's in their habitat, right? You know, I think that even when we see some of these other animals eating other animals, right? It's more for survival. They're in the jungle. They have nothing else to eat. And I was thinking about this recently. I'm gonna get real biblical real quick. Like, even when I think about, if you go back to the Bible, they were not eating and consuming meat at the rate that today's humans are consuming meat. It seemed as if they were eating it more or less for survival, or if they needed to feed a village, a family, and it was sacrificial.
Right.
So I understand that, but let's go back. These animals are not themselves eating meat. And there's a term, strong as a bull, strong as an ox. Yeah. Okay. So basically what you're saying is you can be extremely strong and still be vegan and still be plant-based and still lift heavy ass weights around. Absolutely.
And again, it's all about testing for yourself. If I listen to what everybody said, like, oh, you're going to lose your body, you're not going to be strong. If I listened to what people had told me, I would have never did it. But I have so many great examples, athletes around me in my community that I was like, y'all don't even know anything. Why am I listening to somebody that doesn't even take care of themselves? So what's the point of that?
Wow.
And then again, it's all about knowing yourself. It's all about testing things out, what works for you. Everybody, again, we can go back to eating according to your blood type. Hey, some people blood type might really say you might need some type of meat. I don't know. But everybody's blood type is different. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's body is going to call for different things, you know? So everybody's craving about this protein, but are you even healthy? Like,
yeah, that's so crazy because people are talking about protein, but you never hear that somebody is protein deficient.
right.
There's protein, whether it's small amounts of protein or high amounts of protein.
Yes.
You can get protein from bread.
Yes.
You know, the amino
Yes.
acids, you know, we
That's
really have to
what
break
it
it
is.
down.
That's what it is. That's what protein is. There's 9 essential amino acids, and that's what your body, if that's what you're looking for the protein cravers, it's like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But also it's like, everybody has different goals, right? So if you're going to be a bodybuilder, if you're going for whatever goal that you're going for, then that's on you. But I'm here for like everybody that just wants to make a difference in their lives. And again, if you're probably sick and don't even know why, start eliminating certain things. But I've never had any issues. This has been the strongest I've been, the fittest I've been, the healthiest I've been. Like, it's amazing. That's why I said I would never go back, because I'm no more sluggish, no more tired. People always ask me, how do you have so much energy? How do you have so much energy? I've always been energy driven, but this literally...
It's a boost.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's so crazy because even for me, how I decided to switch my diet was because I was feeling lethargic, because my brain was real cloudy, and I just felt as if everything was foggy, and I felt as if, you know, back then I may not have been making the best decisions, you know what I mean?
For sure, yeah.
But then once I changed my diet, I think everything else changed for me.
Yes, that is very true. And I noticed that as well. I had bad memory before, bad memory. My memory is so sharp now, I don't even have to write things down. I write things down because, you know, we live in a life where we have so much on our plate. But other than that, my mind got clearer. No more, like you said, no more fog. My personality, my attitude, way better.
Hold up. You had an attitude?
Yeah, right. Again, we're consuming these things that have
nothing to do with us.
Right? And they're putting their tensions into our body. So here we are, they went through hell. Now we're going to go through hell because we ate the hell. Right? And now it's just, you're always upset. Yes, it has a correlation.
Do you remember back in the days of disease? I think it was around, you know, like eating red meat. It was called mad cow disease.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Just thinking about that, mad cow,
Yeah.
And they're telling people, yo, this is exactly how you're going to act after you have the cow that's been, you know, put into a burger, and you digesting the same thing that made him or her go crazy. Now you're eating that.
And if you want to look at it, the other thing too, and this is why I fast a lot, because I don't like how people just go about food. Like, look how they react when a new meal or something comes out, and they're literally hurting each other on lines, standing on long lines to hurt each other over a chicken sandwich.
I'm still mad at my people for how they acted for the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Okay, for real. And people really lost their lives over this. And it's like, are y'all serious? And then you see these videos that go viral on social media. Oh, somebody walked into a McDonald's and assaulted the worker because they didn't give them the right burger or something. It's like, that's not cool.
That's
not cool. But this is all really the mental effect of what you put into your gut.
Preach, because right now you're saying something that is definitely exposing something, right? You know, like when people talk about peace and being peaceful, how can you achieve that peace when you are eating animals, when you are putting these products into you? Because it's not meant for you to be peaceful. You know, like you said, a fast, you know, starting your day with some sort of yoga, meditation, setting that tone, being intentional. All of these things are peaceful. But when you go to McDonald's and when you mad because, the lady mixed up your order and gave you the wrong burger.
Yeah.
So you said that you fast.
Yes.
Take me on a journey with you. What does a fast look like? What are you eating? What are you drinking? How long is this fast?
Yeah, for sure. So even to backtrack, when I was really sick, one of my clients told me, she said, and she's a clinical researcher, and in her studies, fasting has been the #1 healer for a lot of people. It's the master healer. So what you're doing when you fast, there are different types of fast, but when you fast, you're really starving those cells of all the like cancer, you're starving it of the inflammation, you're starving it of the sodium, the stress, you're starving it from everything that's actually making you sick.
Wow.
So that time when I was really sick, I did it. She told me to do 7 days, but I was only able to do a 3-day water fast. Mm-hmm. So all I had was a lot of water for 3 days, so like a gallon a day or whatever. But that was new to me, and that was new to my body, and my body needed that. And once I started that, I felt amazing.
Really?
And then that's when I started tapping into, of course, the vegan options and everything. But yeah, starting that fast really kicked it off for me, and I felt my mind was so clear.
So
I felt rejuvenated.
You mentioned the American diet, and a previous guest, we were talking and they said SAD, standard American diet.
Yes.
And I think with being sad, we always think that we need to eat and we don't understand our bodies. Certain cravings that we have, it may not actually be because we are hungry. We have enough food in us to last, So when you're saying you're starving those cells, you're depriving it of sugar, of salt, so that you don't continuously feel sick.
The caffeine that everybody loves,
That's so empowering because now you have more control over yourself rather than just seeing a whole bunch of McDonald's or a whole bunch of marketing tactics that drive you to eating the fast food or eating the foods that we shouldn't be eating.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. My longest fast was 38 days.
Wow.
Yeah, I did a liquid fast for 38 days and then some days I didn't even consume anything. That was considered just more sort of a dry fast. But once your body just gets so used to it and you see how good you feel, and I was still working out. So yes, you can work out while you're still fasting. But again, I know my body. My body operates in an optimal state when I fast. Whether it's fasting in the morning and working out, that's fine. That's still like a fasted workout. Or whether if I'm on a long fast and I still work out, I can still do it.
So you mean to tell me,
yes,
you perform better when you are fasting?
Yeah, for sure.
And since you are a vegan athlete, you're saying that you still have enough energy, although you're not consuming any foods, just strictly liquid or let's say fruits.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You are not missing out or running out on energy.
So here's what it is. Here's what it is. When you fast or when you consume liquids, right? Our body is naturally fueled on a cellular level. So when you consume liquids, this is why it gets to your cells faster. Like it gets to your cells within like 10 minutes.
Wow.
And this is how you fuel your cells. So for example, when you drink alcohol, how long does it take you to get drunk? Or for you to start feeling it? That liquid goes directly into your blood cells, into your bloodstream. And that's how fast, if you drink a juice, that's how fast it works too. So
one shot and I'm done.
Legit. And that's how it works. That's the example that I can easily give and that a lot of people can understand. So as fast as it takes, if somebody can only take one shot, yes, that shot goes directly into your blood, your brain and everything. Same thing, if you're going to drink some juice, that's how fast it's going to help your body. So it's the same thing. So fueling your body on a cellular level, and that's all that you need. That's all that you need. So when you're consuming the food, it takes a longer time to it actually has to digest and then go here and here and here and here. But the juice the liquid goes directly where it needs to go.
Wow. Okay. So this kind of brings me to an interesting topic. Since I know, you go hard, you're focused on health, you're focused on what you're putting inside of your body. It's a 2-part question.
Sure.
First part is, are you single?
Yes.
Okay. Now, since you are single, could you date a non-vegan?
A non-vegan. So I'm going to say I haven't experienced the worst yet of like dating a non-vegan.
Okay.
Because everybody I've pretty much dated that counts, like, recently have been very healthy. So still being very health conscious of like, okay, they're not even into the processed foods. They're not even into fast food type of stuff. So that's big. Yeah. That means a lot. And they cook their own food type of thing. So it's been pretty, it's worked. It's worked. Like there's no jokes on me. There's no like, all them stupid jokes. There's no, I'm not going to this restaurant because it's vegan type of thing. It's none of that. They're very they've been very health conscious. So
as long as somebody is in that space, being conscious of what they're putting into their body, healthy, it is definitely something that you would, entertain. Yeah.
And then again, you never know. Once people really are around you and they see how you're still able to sustain your lifestyle, it can be an easy switch for them because the foods that we eat and the foods that we cook taste delicious, taste amazing. So it's like, okay, I could actually do this. But if you're not around it, of course, they're going to think like, oh, no, I can't do this. I can't have that.
And that's, you really said it. You broke it down well, because I think sometimes people want people to come already a particular way for them. Right. But sometimes somebody might be a little bit more open. If you just show them and introduce them to that world, oh, wow, I wasn't even aware that there was a whole bunch of vegan restaurants to begin with.
Absolutely. Okay. And then when they see your results and they're like, wow, okay, cool. This is actually real. This is actually a real thing. And then it's like, hello, what do you season your food with? Plants, herbs? That's what actually makes this food taste good. So that is how you veganize your food.
So do you cook?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you cook. So would you say that being vegan, going vegan is expensive?
No, absolutely not.
Because a lot of people think that.
Because you're falling into the processed state of things, like, for real. I'm very big on whole foods, like not the establishment, but eating whole foods. Yeah, like going to Asian markets. We have tons of Asian markets in Brooklyn, but guess where everybody want to go? Trader Joe's. They want to go to Whole Foods. They want to go to those places. So yes, they're going to mark up the prices. So yes, it's going to be expensive, but look at all these Asian markets that everybody just walks by. They only go there for the seafood. Okay, they only go there for like the seafood. They go there to get the fish and everything, but you bypass the fruits and the vegetables. And listen, my grocery bill changed drastically. Like the last thing that I was really buying before I went vegan was fish, and that's pretty expensive. But once I changed that, you don't have to go grocery shopping every week. Like, so I'm talking for, again, somebody that's single with no kids. You don't have to go grocery shopping every week. You buy yourself a bag of quinoa, wild rice. Things are actually, for real, things are actually sustainable that's going to stretch out. Yeah. Again, portion control, that's another thing too. We overeat. Again, even though, yes, even if it's vegan, there is a such thing as overeating and eating too much and taking in too much calories, carbs and everything. But, that's all a part of the health.
I've been making this transition where instead of grocery shopping every single week or as often as I was doing before, I want to finish a lot of the things that are inside of my cabinet.
Yes. That is big. That is big. Legit.
Like, we got the chickpeas, the red lentils, but I'm going to the grocery store and
that's the whole meal. Yeah. That's the whole meal that you can make some soup. That's the whole meal that you probably could just add on or whatever. You can grill them. There's so many different things that you could do to them rather than just going back to the grocery store to get something else, and then those just get pushed to the back. Yeah. Right? But are you buying the fruits and vegetables? Are you buying that? Those are things that, yeah, most likely if you're doing it right, they're not going to spoil and you're going to eat them within the time frame. Everybody complain, oh, they spoil too fast because you're not eating them fast enough. Yeah. Juice them, make a smoothie. Or what I do, I chop them up, put them in the freezer. Yeah. That way.
Or just a tip for some people, before you go grocery shopping, plan out what you want to cook.
Oh, true.
That will make it so much easier. So now when you have the ingredients, there's a purpose now for it, rather than just collecting dust, in your cabinet.
Not for real. It's not expensive at all, and we gotta get away from the main street markets. Go to the farmers markets. Go to the Asian markets. Go to the actual Asian towns where these things are really, really cheap. Yeah, it's really cheap. Yeah.
And since we're talking about veganism being expensive and doing what's right for the body, the brain, let's talk about mental health. Would you say, since you discussed prior that, maybe your attitude might have been a little different prior to you switching your diet, right? Yeah. Would you say that food and being vegan has had an impact, has affected your mental health, whether that be negative or positive?
Yes, absolutely. I would say that. I was somebody that, so again, even before when I was younger, just trying to figure things out, right? So I was somebody that ate candy a lot. So what's in candy? It's the gelatin, right? It's the pork. So yes, that attitude was definitely there. My skin was terrible. People would not believe. I'm going to start pulling up the pictures. But yeah, my skin was terrible. Attitude was definitely bad. So again, what you put into your body. So when they talk about, oh, I have a gut feeling, that's your gut in your mind. That's how connected it is. It's not just a saying. So what goes into your gut really has an effect on your whole body, has an effect on your nervous system, has an effect on your brain. So yeah, definitely for sure.
And I like to say to people, how can you trust your gut feeling when your gut is not clean? Okay. So that means your gut is telling you something and it might not be right. So, sometimes we do need to just, whether it be a colonic, a cleansing, a detox, we need to clear out our guts because our guts are they're working. Our stomach is working. Our internal system is working. Sometimes we just got to give it a break.
No, for sure. You give everything else a break. You turn off your phone, you turn off your TV, you turn off your car. You don't leave nothing running. Oh, turn that light off. Yeah, turn the light off, right?
My bill going up.
Okay, for real. So it's the same thing with your body. You got to give your body a break, and you got to really just go back to nature to do a lot of these things. And imagine you're eating things that blessed by the sun, fresh air and everything. So how do you really think you're really going to feel? You think you're going to feel terrible because you had some sun? How do you feel when you go out and get some sun? You get fresh air, you feel amazing. Yeah. Right? So all of that stuff, that's what you're actually ingesting when you have the whole foods, when you have the vegan foods. So when you're ingesting that changes your body from the inside.
We've talked about a lot of really positive topics so far, and I wanna get to know you a little bit more. I wanna get to know your story, your why. And I understand a few years ago, you dealt with a very tragic situation that hit home.
Yes.
Would you like to state what happened?
Yes. So in 2014, my dad took the life of my grandmother, my uncle, and then he took his own life. And of course, being Haitian in Brooklyn, Black community, Haitian culture, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's unheard of. So I was ashamed. My family abandoned me at the time because whatever their reasoning was, but I had to deal with this on my own. I had to bury my dad on my own. I had to grieve on my own. And my community didn't know to what capacity that I lost my family. A lot of people came to the service. A lot of people knew that I lost my family, but they didn't know what happened because if my family abandoned me, I figured if I tell the world, everybody else is going to abandon me, look at me like, oh, that's that crazy girl. So I didn't tell nobody. I didn't tell my story until like 4 years later because I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. and I just had to keep it to myself from what I felt. And then I
have a question for you. When you kept that in, what did that do to your mental health?
Well, so I'm a daddy's girl. My dad, I grew up he taught me how to work out. We were always outside. We were never in front of a TV. So that, my childhood bond with my dad, the bond that me and my dad had, that's what kept me going. Really, like I really had to go back to my roots and realize like, okay, you got to take care of yourself. Everything that he taught me about love, taking care of yourself, your body and everything, like he was an athlete himself. So all of that, I didn't even drink around that time because I already knew, like I wanted to face it. Yeah. I did want to face it. Wow. I knew that for sure. Like I've studied a lot. I've studied psychology and mental health. I've studied that. So I knew I had to face it. I knew I didn't want anything to hinder my thoughts because that's crazy. That's tragic. Yeah. And what you do at that time is pivotal. So do you want to decline or do you want to really make a change, a positive change? So I was working out. At that time, I'm talking about 6 hours a day in the gym. Wow. That became my drug. Wow. That became my drug. But and that's what the community saw. Like I was always documenting my day to day, regardless, right? So everybody just see me working out so much, not knowing that I was really going through depression. But I wasn't in a state where it's like I'm hiding something, where like I was trying to put on a happy face. Working out really made me feel good. It really made me feel good. The reason why I finally came out with it was because I was tired of people thinking that I was perfect. Because working out back in the days wasn't really a thing. So you're like, okay, you just doing it for attention. You doing this for that. And also when that happened, I had cut my hair. Okay. Like that same week. So that also actually helped with my mental health too, just getting rid of the hair that I had. A
lot of the weight.
Yeah, okay. Like I had long hair down to here. And that same week that it happened, I was just thinking of like, okay, what can I do to get me out of this? And I literally went that same week and I cut my hair off. Wow. So between that and working out, a lot of people just look at me like, oh, you're perfect. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. And whatever, completely forgetting what I went through. And I was still going through it because I was grieving. Didn't have family that was by my side, that was supportive. Again, in our culture, it's not a thing. So who am I really going to talk to? And then I don't want to scare anybody else because that's a heavy weight to put on other people. Like, who else has that story? And at the time, nobody's talking about what's going on in their household. So who am I really going to tell? Who am I really going to talk to?
Do you think that when you dealt with the situation at first, not going through the transformation and the transition of your diet, do you think that you grieve any different pre-vegan versus while being vegan? Do you think your emotions and your thoughts centered around the tragedy are any different?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that before I still was had like that short temper. I still did have that. But again, working out helped me a lot. It really boosted my energy, made me feel good. So that really did help. But once I went vegan, what really changed was me finding my community, finding people that had more stories, finding people that really could help me mentally. And we're talking about just by having healthy conversations. Absolutely. And seeing different things, seeing different lifestyles that people have and they're still successful, still making it. And then that just changes you as a person, right? Compared to just, I was stuck in that shell of like, okay, my family don't talk to me. This is like, okay. So of course that makes me angry and I was still eating the same foods. But once I made that transition, it definitely, and it made me actually, of course, it made me tell my story more. It made me open up more. It made me just share. Wow. And that's when I actually started crying more about it. Like I didn't, for all those years, I didn't cry much about it, but from then I've been healing ever since then. And I cry more and more about it, just realizing what really happened and the magnitude. And now seeing everybody that's going through the same thing is like, wow.
People need to be speaking and communicating a lot more. Yeah, because you never know how you can help somebody out, whether it be a healthy conversation at the park, at a restaurant, on and so forth. Because prior to us being on camera, I was sharing with Potent, a story that I had, and sometimes just the freedom we get from just telling our story and seeing that somebody is listening.
Absolutely.
What you went through obviously is a tragic situation, and the way that you uplifted and empowered yourself allowed you to not only work harder and figure things out about yourself, but it seemed like you went through some sort of journey to figuring out who Potent truly is.
Yes, absolutely,
okay.
For sure. Because again, what works for somebody else is not going to work for me. What works for me is not going to work for you. You really have to figure yourself out. You really have to figure things out. It's like there's a lot of young girls that look up to me. I want to cut my hair. I'm like, baby girl, you have no idea. You have no idea. And it's not even your time yet, But there's so many different elements to this whole thing.
As we're speaking about you having a supportive community for you, and the people who did reach out to you, whether it be to give you information when it comes to health, or whether it be those consoling you, how do you handle any negative criticism around being vegan? Do you still experience it today? And have you experienced it at all?
Child, yes. And yes, going into 24, still yes, still experience negative comments, still experience people having jokes, even people close to you, still experience people that just don't understand your lifestyle. People really still, people see me on this journey for so long, and you still have jokes. They still have something to say, and me taking care of myself is considered weird. It's still considered weird, and I'm like,
let's talk about that.
Yeah,
let's talk about the ones who are very close to us, see what we're doing, and they look at it as, I love myself so much, I want to do these healthy things, as you're being strange, you're being weird. Why do you think? What's the mindset there? Like, why do you think that happens? Is it a jealousy thing where, damn, this person is really caring about themselves? Is it an inner thing where they're like, damn, I don't love myself that much, or I'm not disciplined enough to make that change? Where does the subtle hate come from?
Yeah, that's something we really got to ask them, but they never going to tell the truth, But I just feel as if, they get triggered. It could be an unconscious or a conscious trigger when you see somebody taking care of themselves. And then they don't know what to do. It's like, listen, not even half, 95% of the world is angry and upset, right? And then here you go. You're taking care of yourself. You're doing your routines. And it's like, okay, here we go again. And it's like, what? What do you want me to do? Like, you're okay when it's time to do negative things, but it's not okay when it's time to, let's go for a walk. Let's go for a jog. Let's go sit outside in the sun. Let's drink some more water today. Let's do a water challenge instead of who's buying the most bottles in the club challenge or whatever, and I'm that person, and the reason why I think I have so much influence is the fact that I'm that person where I lead by example. I never throw my lifestyle on anybody. I never say, this is what you need to do. I always tell people you're going to arrive at this state whenever you do arrive, The two things is, when people are around me is they want to, they have to say some type of, this is not vegan, or they want to talk about working out type of thing. And I'm like, there's so much more that you can do before you even get here. Like, what is your mindset like? What is your environment like? What do you do on a day-to-day? Like, I'm not going to just throw you in the gym and say, let's go work out.
Let's talk about what you just said, the environment. When we talk about diet, we're always talking about what we are eating and not what we are consuming.
Okay.
The people we hang out with.
Yes.
The pages that we follow on Instagram.
Yes.
The videos that we watch on YouTube, on the TV, the books that we are reading, or whatever it is that we are reading. sometimes even when you're around the people that you love the most, sometimes when you know yourself, you got to remove yourself out of particular environments that no longer water you.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we hit a ceiling and we're trying to figure out why we are stuck.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to say it, sometimes it might be your environment,
no,
right?
It is. I had a part of my life where I didn't have any friends for 3 years. I didn't talk to anybody for 3 years.
And was that by choice?
That was by choice. I left high school and then I was like, yeah, I'm done. So for 3 years, I literally worked 2 jobs and I was going to school full time.
Where'd you work?
Where was I working? I was at, I think Filene's basement.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at Filene. Yeah, it was dope or whatever. And that was really just my focus until I finally found some friends where I was like, all right. And I actually met them at Filene's too. So, and then, yeah, we're still friends to this day. And I just had to remove myself. And it was the best time because I found myself. I realized that I was able to be by myself. A lot of people are still friends because they just cannot. They don't want to have this, oh, if I don't talk to them anymore, we have beef. It's not that. You gotta, I always valued my mental health. I always valued my peace. And I just really was just at that state where it's just like, all right. Wow. And it's that saying where you have to separate in order to elevate. And I even recently did that too. Like in maybe like last year, I did that too. I had changed my number. A lot of people don't have my number anymore.
So you did. So before we were talking about fasting and cleansing, we were talking about, so you did basically another version of fasting and cleansing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And in real life, and I'm not afraid, there's people like that would see me in the street like, oh yeah, I tried to reach out to you and you changed your number. I'm like, yeah, I did. And at that point, they probably thought I was going to give them my number. And it's like, no, like I'm not afraid to really stand on my mental health. Like, you have to focus if you really want things done. There has to be a time where people call it selfish, but no, it's just sacrifice. I'm doing a sacrifice for me. It has nothing to do with you.
I get in trouble sometimes, you know, because when my parents call me and I'm locked in, I'm locked in. Because I know one thing about me is once I'm locked out, that ADHD in me, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of other things and it's going to be tough for me to get back in that zone. So sometimes, like, you know, I'm not picking up, but they may not hear from me for 2 or 3 days. And I'm like, yo, I'm focused. Like, whatever you're going to tell me about, it might be some chit chatter about some family stuff.
It's never anything positive. Like, you really got to realize that sometimes you pick up that phone, it's always negativity on the other end of that phone. So you really just got to be like, listen, I can't do this. And I don't really feel the need to explain it to anybody. It's like, yo, respectfully, this, like, you see how hard I go. You see what I do. This is not easy. It's not easy. Like, when you want to crack jokes like, oh, yeah, she working at 4:30 in the morning. Guess what? Discipline. It's discipline and it's not easy. So if I'm already in bed, sleep, or just need my peace of mind because we overexert ourselves all day, I need my peace of mind by a certain time.
All day.
Whatever it is.
So hold up. You're in the gym at 4:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in the gym at 4:30 in the morning. What time are we waking up?
Waking up definitely about like 3:30, 3:45. Yeah.
Wow.
Just have to prepare the night before. It's a routine, and just have days that you do it. You're not going to do it every single day.
Absolutely.
You know, but just know that days that you do it, you got to be in bed by a certain time. You got to prepare yourself because it's literally brush your teeth, get out the house, whatever. I'm not really a fan of like showering at the gym. So I do need to come back home and just like take care of myself in my house after I do that workout, right? Okay. So. And
can you do me one favor? Can you turn to the side real quick so I can see those earrings? Hold. Can you hold up? Yeah, there we go. That's a perfect shot. If you can just lift your head up a little, perfect. So we got the vegan baddie earrings. Yeah. Hold up. Where's my phone at? So we got the vegan baddie earrings on deck. And, you know, shout out to Jazz, because these earrings, I see them popping up. And the crazy part is that is actually how Potent and I met. Yep. Right? You know, I saw her wearing the earrings and I was like, yeah, you know Jazz Money Shares. We were discussing how important it is to surround yourself with those on the same journey as you, right? And, you know, not being around negativity, Because, negativity is very contagious at times, right? Something else I want to get into, creating healthy habits versus restrictions, right?
Yes.
You saying that you're in the gym 4:30, you fast. It seems like you're extremely disciplined. And sometimes people may not realize that they might be disciplined in the wrong things, right? So we want people to be disciplined in creating a healthy habit, right? What are some healthy habits? What are some tips that you can share for women like yourself?
It's okay to have fun. Like, that's number one. Like, I'm the fun girl. I'm the party girl. That's how people knew me from before. And that hasn't stopped. I do it in moderation. So I never want you to feel as if you have to cut certain things out of your life 100%. Unless you know that, this is really detrimental to me and I need to really abstain from this for like a year or two until you gain that discipline and then get back into it.
Okay.
Right. So that's a real discipline that you can really do. If you need to take a year off of, like, if you know that you drink too much, if you know that you party too much, you're not getting enough rest. All right, boom. Do that for a year, but slowly start saying no more. Start saying no more. And
let's talk about that. It seems like, saying no is a skill. And I just had this conversation earlier with someone where I said, some of the things we say yes to today are going to be the things we wish we said no to in the future.
For sure.
People pleasing. Yeah. It's tough.
And it's like, you people pleasing for what? This person, like, you say yes right now, they get what they want and that's it. And then you don't hear from these people again. Now you just wasted your time, your energy, your mental space, like just everything. You just feel now your anxiety's up to here because you didn't even want to do it, but then you did it. And it's like, for what? For people that's not even going to value you or value what you did for them? Yeah. Absolutely. You got to be comfortable saying no and without explanation.
Were you always comfortable saying no?
No, I was not.
How did you build up the courage enough to say no, especially to the ones that you love? Because that's a little bit more difficult, right? To just be like, no. How did you build that momentum up to where you feel comfortable and you're just like, no?
Just looking at experiences, looking at a lot of experiences. Like I just said, you say yes and then your whole day's messed up. And who's left to be burdened with that? You are. They're home, sleep in their bed, chilling. And now it's like, it's you that really have to get back into your zone, right? Losing out. If you're losing out on money by saying yes to something. So I really just had to look at the experiences, really looking at, does this person even really care about what I'm doing? And then realizing they're only asking you because you're available and you're accessible.
Because you're available.
And when you tell them no, guess what? They figure it out and they find somebody else to do it. And once you realize, like, they get it done without you, then you're like, oh, you don't need me. You just
I'm not even as important in your life as I thought I was.
It's just because I'm probably right next to you, I'm right here, or because you just know that I'm going to say yes. So I just started saying no. And I'm happy I started doing that because that's when everybody started leaving me the hell alone. So yeah,
they respect it now.
Yeah, it's for sure. It's just like, you're not even gonna call me now, or you don't even have my number to call me. Like, she's serious.
Amen.
For sure.
A lot of young women come to you, seems like, for assistance, guidance, help about their health issues. Yes. Menstrual cycle.
Oh, yes.
How has your menstrual cycle changed after going vegan?
It changed drastically, to be honest. I used to be on medication for my menstrual. I used to be on medication. I used to have to take, I think it was called naproxen, like 800 milligrams, and I would be taking 2 at a time. Crazy. And heavy cycle, 7 days, cramps. It was terrible. Went vegan. Once I started changing up my diet, I'm noticing, like, wow, okay, my cycle is lighter, like in color wise, my cycle is down to like 3 to 4 days, no more cramps. And I was sold off of that. So. But I realized the last thing that I had to eliminate from my diet was like, at the time they were telling, oh yeah, eat fish or whatever. So once I eliminated the fish for sure, that was the last thing that I had let go. And then that was that.
Wow.
So yeah, no more cramps, no more medication, no more feeling terrible, no more, oh, I can't go out or I can't do certain things because, my cycle's too heavy or I can't function. Like no more of that. None.
So obviously we know big pharma is a $1 trillion business, right?
Yeah.
So they prescribe that medication so that you can be part of the cycle.
Yeah.
And once you figured it out, you no longer have to get those prescriptions anymore that are probably doing more harm to your body than,
for sure.
It might alleviate some of the cramping, but then, hurting something else.
Yeah.
So once you change your diet, your menstrual cycle just changed drastically. And that's just so crazy for me to comprehend because the main issue with women in their menstrual cycle, number one, the cramps. Right? And you're saying that went away ASAP once you started changing your diet.
Yeah, that really went away ASAP. One thing I do like to mention is also like how they said this. You're consuming the blood that the animals had. So if you're taking in that blood, how much blood you really... That's the blood that's really going to be coming out your body. So all that blood that you're eating from the animal, you're taking it in. Again, you're taking in the attention, the aggression. So that's making you cramp. That's making you moody. The hormones that we keep talking about and everything. But also I do know women that are vegan and still suffer from that. Okay. But this is where, again, you got to dig deeper into what's in those ingredients of those ingredients. Again, that's really what it is. Yeah, so I know a lot of women that are vegan and still have those issues. And
we go back and tie that back into being vegan and unhealthy.
Yeah. And a lot of the young girls that I speak to, they go through it really bad. But what are they having nowadays? It's these Takis that's like super hot. What's in these things, right? It's the Takis. It's the unhealthy breakfast sandwiches. And knowing that everything is different compared to when we were growing up, right? Or even when our parents were growing up. The meat is not the same. Their bacon, egg, and cheese is not even what we were having back in the day, right? It's not the same. Yeah. It's even worse. So whatever's going into that is what they're putting into their body. So it's making it even worse now. But, I try to talk to these girls and, they're 16, 17, 18, younger. And they tell me they make the changes. They're making the changes.
That's good to hear.
Listen, I can't force you. You're a young girl. You have your whole life ahead of you, but you're always going to remember. I always tell people, the conversation, you're going to remember the difference that you had. I know a lot of people that do it. They try it. They say, oh yeah, this stuff works. Then they go back because they can't get away from that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And I've had women tell me like, oh, I'm not ready and I prefer my cramps. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's mind blowing.
Yeah.
I see you do a lot of community work. Yeah.
Yes.
You're speaking to young ladies. I saw on Instagram you posted that you did you had a partnership with Kith and you were with Ronnie giving back and all of this. How are you able to make things happen? Why do you pour back into the community?
So my definition of being outside, so, growing up, everybody, oh, you're outside a lot. You're always hanging out. I was just always outside really being connected. And again, my dad, my grandmother in Haiti, these people never went hungry. Like I said, monetary, okay, probably wasn't well off, but as far as like ever going hungry or not having the support and love from community because they poured back so much. Mm-hmm. So it's really just been innate for me, really. And I never realized that until literally this year, like, wow, I'm really following my grandmother and my dad's steps of giving back so much.
Absolutely.
Growing up, shopping at the thrift stores, and now I create that same type of setup where it's like, instead of me throwing the clothes away or giving this to Salvation Army, here I can set up a shop and you just buy this $120 jacket for $10, like really legit. And that's how I pour back into my community and just giving back. Like we're only here for a short time. What are you really doing with all of this stuff and all of your time?
Talk to them, because
what are you really doing?
We at least have to make the attempt to leave Earth a better place than what we found.
Absolutely.
It as. Yeah.
And don't ever think that what you do is too small. It's
someone's
never
always
too
watching.
Small. And that's literally how I came about. I never realized people were really watching in the back end, and they would reach out like, oh, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And that's really how it just got to bigger brands and businesses and companies. That's really legit how it is. And I'm somebody that shoot my shot. You know, if I got to email you, DM you, the biggest company, or I just learn who their marketing team is, and then I reach out to them like on the smaller end, because they'll actually see your message. So these are different things that I do. And I've always been a part of the community. So they're more than welcoming to me to help me whenever I ask, let's do something. Wow. And it's like, why not? Why not?
What are some of your favorite vegan restaurants? Let's say you got a friend from out of town coming into the city, and they're saying, "Yo, Poland, what's up? I want to eat some good vegan food. Where you gonna take them?"
Oh my gosh! Well, again, I'm not a foodie, right? Okay. I'm not a foodie, but people, Greedy Vegan for sure.
Absolutely.
You know, always show me love. Greedy Vegan for sure. Urban Vegan Kitchen, that's out in the city. And yeah, listen, my friends are vegan chefs, and they're bomb vegan
That's all
chefs,
you need.
right? And so it's like, listen, get it from my friends. But yeah, that's really it.
Okay. And what about some of your favorite vegan meals that you like to prepare at home for yourself?
So again, I'm very pretty basic. Okay. So I love making some walnut meat to do my tacos, some chickpeas to make the tuna, to make some the chickpea chips. I'm super basic. I love me soup. Love me some soup. Yeah, love me some soup. However you want to put it, love me some soup.
As long as it's healthy and it's good for the body.
Yeah,
that's all you
for
need.
sure. And again, I'm speaking to the person that doesn't have much time, right? So if I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning, you really think at the end of my day, I want to make a full course vegan meal. Like, I love seeing y'all do it. I love seeing y'all do it. But for me, listen, it has to be quick. I'm going to put them in some bowls, and that's just going to be it. And I love me, of course, juicing. I'm the juice tender. You the juice tender.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. You the juice tender, right?
Yes.
So how did this business, another business that stemmed off you making a life transition, life transformation, how did this juice idea for the business come about?
A couple of things. For sure, in 2020, of course, with the shutdown, all the essential places were closed. So it's like, I couldn't get really like the smoothies. I couldn't really go to like certain healthy places to get some stuff. And then also, I was just like following in my household footsteps. We grew up on fruits and vegetables. I'm like, all right, I just had a blender, a strainer, and I was making juice in my house. And of course, people was like, are you selling that? Are you selling that? And I was like, no, I'm not. And then I got so many requests. I'm like, all right, fine. Since everything really is shut down, let me just do this and make some money off of it. And also educate my people and help them right now. Right. So that's really how it started. My community, again, shout out to them. They pushed me. They seen it in me, and they're paying for a convenience. Yeah. Like juicing, it's not easy, but I love it so much. I love it so much. It's quick for my day to day, and it's quick for everybody else's day to day. Right. So juices, smoothies, got into that. Again, I started off with a blender and a strainer, and it was just so good. Nobody even knew. And then one of my close friends, she bought me my first actual juicer, which is a Breville juicer. She bought me that, and then started making more juices. And then the following year, these girls gifted me a cold press juicer, which is like, I think it's like $2,500 or $3,000. Like they
game changer.
Yeah. That was that. So it just kept transforming through that. And then that's just what people have known me for. And then I've been able to partner with the Juice Bar Juice and Go over the summer. We had a great time making Bed-Stuy healthy. Yeah, it was a different face, different energy.
Where can people find your juices? Are they able to order them online?
Yeah, they are able to order them online. Okay. Definitely changing up the menu and everything. Okay. But right now, what I've been doing, a lot of companies, a lot of big brands and companies have been able to reach out to me, whether they're having meetings for their staff, whether they're having events for kids or any type of community events, they reach out to me. They get the juices. Nice. Yes, nice. Any type of wellness events. So I do a lot of that for the corporate companies as well.
How can people find you? What is your Instagram?
My Instagram, so I have 2 Instagrams. So my fitness one is Kill Her Core.
And we're going to drop that Instagram right down below.
Yeah, and then Stay Potent Roots.
And we are also going to drop that Instagram right down below as well. You know, Potent, we spoke about some amazing things, some amazing topics. And, you know, everything that you've gone through in life is definitely a part of your journey. To sit here and to have this conversation with a very, powerful Black woman means so much to me because, you know, from this conversation, just in the back of my mind, I was jotting some things down on what I need to do a little bit better, how I need to go harder. And, you know, although you may not feel as if people are seeing you or you know that people are watching in the background. I know for me, when I see you posting your workouts in the morning, that might be a morning where it's tough for me to get up. And I see you posting your workout and I'm like, I got to get up. Let me get my ass to the gym now because she's up at 4:30 doing push-ups. And I'm like, you know what? I need to do that. So, you know, trust and believe that, you know, we are all watching you, especially the people who truly support you want you to win more than anything else. So I want to say thank you for this time, this opportunity for me to just sit here and get to know you.
For sure.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching this YouTube video. If you enjoy more videos like this, please give me a thumbs up, comment below, and let me know what you think. Let's get it.